Hello and welcome back to my channel Blissfudotlmandalas. I'm super happy and excited to have you here today. In today's video, we are going to learn how to make mandala grid, and I'm also going to teach you how to create grid in different angles step by step. So let's get started. So before we start making the grid, let me quickly talk about the surface we are going to use. You can use anything as a base, from A4 size paper to sketchbook to cardboard, and even the MDF board you can use. And if you're planning to do the dotting with the acrylic colors, I would recommend using at least 140 GSM paper so your paper doesn't crumble and your design stays intact on the paper. Now let's talk about the first material we need. We need a scale or a ruler. I would recommend using a ruler that is 18 inches or 45 centimeter long, especially if you are working on A4 size paper. A longer scale helps us measure properly from one end to another end, which becomes very important to find the center easily. So the 12-inch or the 30 centimeter will not reach to the end of the paper from one end to another. That's why we are using the longer scale. So again, we need scale, we need rounder to make circles here. We also need pencil to draw lines. We also need a protractor, and I'm just going to show you there are different types of protractors what we have. So this is a semicircle one. Then I also have the full circle, which is in colored one. So it's easy to see on the black paper also. And then I also have the transparent one, a different protractor, which I'll just show you so that we don't have to keep doing like back and forth. If it depends, like everybody has their own preference which kind of a protractor they like to use. This is quite bigger one with the big numbers. So in market you will find different types of protractor. Whichever is convenient for you, you can buy that one. So now what we will do is we'll keep the scale from one corner. So we are just going to use the one side of the scale. Okay, so one corner on the top side and the other corner on the other side, and then we will try to see. It's like about 14 inches long, so I'm just drawing a small line in between 6.5 to 7.5 to find a center here, and then I'm going to rotate my scale to the other side. And it's same, we are just going to use the left side of the scale, one end on the others on the that top corner. So we're not using the right side to connect the other corner. So make sure you're using the left side on the top corner and the left side on the bottom corner, and wherever the line intersect, we are just going to put a small intersection there, and that's going to be our center point. So now we have found the center point, and I have measured about 4 inches to make the 8 inch of the circle. So our radius is going to be 8 inches. So let me just show you to do the first circle. So now we have created the outer circle, and we also found the center point. So we are going to draw a straight line passing from the center from one end to another end, and that's going to be our radius, and this is the line which is going to help us to measure our angles. So now we are going to use the protractor to make the different angles here. So just to show you, this is the middle point on the protractor. So protractor has a straight line and the middle point. So we are exactly going to put on our radius, the first line which we draw. So line has to match with the line and the center point has to match with the center point. That's the key of using the protractor. So now for this particular grid, which is the most easiest one, where we are going to make 8 sections on the grid, and for that we are going to use 90-degree first and 45 degrees on both the sides. So left side 45 and the right side 45, and then we will rotate our protractor, and on the other side also we are going to mark the angles as 90, then 45 and 135. If you are just looking at the numbers in a row, so first point will be 0, then 45, then 90, and then 135 on both the sides of the circle. So this is a semicircle one. So now we have to rotate it to mark the angles on the other side. And then we will use the scale to connect the dots. So where we have um, marked the angle of 90, and other side on the 90 we will connect that 3 dots, so the line has to pass through the center. That is the key which we always have to remember. So first line which we draw was radius, that also passed through the center, and if we are connecting 90 to 90 also will pass through center. So all the dots from upper circle to the bottom circle needs to match, and it should pass through the center point. That is very, very important to remember. So I'm just marking that we have created these angles with 45 degrees angle on each. So and it's 8 inch wider the circle is. And now the next step, what we are going to do is to create the circles. To create the design, we need more circles to draw. So I'm measuring according to design what I have thought in my head. So at this point of a time, I'm measuring like zero point 0.5 centimeter, then 1 centimeter, then 1.5, then 2.5, 4 centimeter, 6.5, 9, and then the last, it's the outer circle which ends at 10.2 centimeters. So I'm marking all the numbers here. So let me rotate it on the other side so that you can see it properly, and I'm just going to draw the circles. So for drawing the smallest circle, I like to rotate my paper. It becomes very easier to draw the small circles. And with this, our grid is ready for dotting. So let's begin with the next one, which we are going to create with every 30 degrees. So first I have measured the 4 inch on my compass, and I'm going to draw 8 inch of circle. I have already drawn the radius which passed through the center point, and I'm going to mark angles on every 30 degrees, which is 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, 330, and 360. And I'm using the whole protractor, not the semicircle one. And also in the full circle, the 360 degree 0 to 360 degree protractor has also the center point, which we need to match with the center point on our paper. And then we are going to mark the angles, and then we will draw same way. I have also marked my circle grids for 1 centimeter, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 6.5, and 10.2. So that's how I'm going to draw my angles and my circles. So let's make one more grid here with every 20 degrees for the angles. And I'm also going to draw the circles at 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 5 centimeter, 7 centimeter, and the last one is at 10.2 centimeter. Let's mark all this and then we'll create our grid. Now let's make one more grid where I have already found the center point, and this one we are going to make with every 10-degree angles, and we are also going to draw circles on every half centimeter. And let me mark all the numbers, and then let me show you how the grid is going to look like. It's more like a spider web. See, this is how the final result looks like, and we can create whichever design we want to according to our choice. Now, if you see this one, it's very small where we cannot even put our protractor and mark the angles on this one. So this tool, what I'm showing you here, which has the grid already, uh, marked on it, and you just put like center to center, and it's so easy to mark your grids. So this is a game changer tool, and it's very very convenient for using it for your keychains or any small piece what you are going to create. So there we go. We are finally done creating mandala grids in different angles. I really hope this video was helpful and made the grid making process much easier for you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Blissful.Mandala for more mandala tutorials and creative videos. And if you would like to see how I use this grid to create actual mandala design, let me know in the comments which design you would love to learn next. So see you in the next video.